Long before anyone knew her name, there was a girl whose kindness seemed to quiet every room she entered. They said the forest listened when she walked, and even the wind slowed, as if it didn't want to disturb her thoughts. Tonight, this is not the story you remember, but the softer one that was always there, waiting for someone gentle enough to tell it settle in. Let your shoulders relax. There is nowhere you need to go. Imagine a land far away where mornings arrived slowly and nights were wrapped in silver moonlight. Castles stood not as symbols of power, but as quiet places where hearts carried secrets, hopes, and longings. This is a story meant to unfold gently, like snowfall drifting from the sky, never rushed, never loud. And as we begin, know that nothing here will hurry you, and nothing will disturb your rest. The girl before the mirror. Snow White was not always called Snow White. Once, she was simply a child who noticed small things, the way birds leaned closer when she sang, the way tired servants smiled when she thanked them. Her mother's laughter lived in her memory like a warm blanket, even after it faded into silence. When the new queen arrived, the castle grew quieter. Mirrors became important. Reflections mattered more than feelings. Snow White learned early that kindness is sometimes invisible, and yet it remains. She spent her evenings by the window, watching the stars appear one by one, wondering if somewhere in the world gentleness was still enough. And deep inside her, a quiet knowing began to grow. The whisper of the forest, the day Snow White stepped beyond the castle walls. The forest welcomed her without words, leaves softer footsteps. Sunlight filtered gently, as if guiding her forward. She did not run in fear, she walked in trust. Each breath felt fuller. Each moment felt lighter. The forest seemed to remember her, though she had never been there before. As twilight arrived, a small cottage appeared, glowing warmly against the dark. And for the first time in a long while, Snow White felt something rare: belonging. A home of small joys. The cottage belonged to 7 gentle souls, each carrying their own quiet rhythms. They did not ask her to explain herself, they simply made space. There were meals eaten slowly, laughter that never demanded attention, and silence that felt safe. Snow White learned that home is not a place that shines, but one that listens. Each night she slept deeply, dreaming not of castles, but of peace. And slowly her heart began to rest. The gift of kindness. One afternoon, as autumn brushed gold across the trees, a stranger appeared. Snow White felt a familiar pull, not fear, but curiosity. The apple offered was bright, but it was the intention behind it that felt heavy. Still, Snow White believed in softness. When sleep took her gently, it was not darkness that followed, but stillness. A pause. The forest held its breath. The wait in that hill's time passed differently than the dwarfs kept watch, not with sorrow, but with hope. Snow White rested in glass and light, as if dreaming the longest, sweetest dream. And in that dream, she remembered who she was, not a reflection, not a comparison, but a presence. Kindness, she realized, always finds its way back. awakening to warmth when Snow White opened her eyes. It was not to surprise, but recognition. The world felt familiar again. She breathed deeply, as if waking from a nap on a quiet afternoon. Love had been waiting patiently, and this time she did not return to rule. She returned to live. Snow White chose a life where mirrors held no power. Her days became filled with simple moments, shared meals, gentle conversations, peaceful evenings. The forest remained close, as did the memory of everything she had learned. That kindness is strength, that rest is sacred, that you are enough, simply as you are. And as night settles around you now, may you carry this softness with you into sleep.